Hello to PiperButcher. How are you today?
So good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for chat to you today. So, can you tell me roughly how long have you been a singer-songwriter for?
Oof, what a question. I've been a singer for much more longer than I've been a songwriter. I've been a songwriter for about, let's say, 7 years, and a singer since I was a tiny tot, so probably about 18 years technically, since I was two and started speaking.
So, have you always been a country singer?
I think it has definitely changed. I've always had a bit of a twang, and the first song that I ever sang was a Dixie Chicks song when I was younger. So there was always a little bit of that country background, but I also grew up singing things like the Eagles and Huey Lewis, Phil Collins, some really good classic universal sounding stuff. But I've just sort of found my way back to country, and I'm not complaining whatsoever.
So, what do you like going to the recording studio, recording your debut single called Hunting Your Thoughts?
Yeah, that was a pretty wild experience. I was about 15, I think, when I did that song. So, yeah, quite young, fair few years ago now. And it was so fun. I went in there with no expectation and just was so excited to be getting in and discovering what a studio setting was like. And that song came out pretty rocky, actually, in comparison to the stuff now. Yeah.
So, well, recently, quite a bit of thunder here in the UK because of the hot weather. So, can you tell me about a single that is called Before the Thunder?
Yes. Oh, Before the Thunder. That was off the same EP that Haunting Your Thoughts was on, and that was more metaphorical about the weather. But it was yeah, a really big song all about some. I think it was about someone that was trying to steal someone else's boyfriend in high school. But I really wanted to be mature enough to create a metaphor about that. Always wanting the rain before the thunder, sort of saying, always wanting something that you can't get. So yeah, that's what that one is about.
So, what was it like to record your debut EP called September?
That was so fun. I recorded that in, I believe it was November, December of 2020. So we'd been going through lockdowns and things. Um, yeah, I think it was that year. Oh my God, you're making me think back. But just after that, and just after I had finalised all the mixing and mastering, I found out that I had to go in for a surgery on my cleft palate because I was born with no roof of my mouth whatsoever. And so I had to have 2.5 months off of singing, and I couldn't release my music. So I went from being in the studio and loving and learning all about this new space to not even being able to speak a word, which was really hard. And when I finally got over that and I was allowed to sing again, the songs were just so exciting and my voice had grown and I just wanted to sing forever. Nothing stops me now.
It's good to hear. So, can you tell me more about a single that is called Unconscious Mind?
Yes, Unconscious Mind. I think that was one of my first songs that I ever recorded in a place called Grove Studios, which is where I do most of my vocal and my drum performances now for my newer songs. So I called up an amazing producer, Matt Fell, who's done a lot of amazing country music in Australia and beyond, I would say. And I asked him to come up all the way from Tasmania to where I am in New South Wales and begged him, please, please, please. And he made the trip and we did 2 songs in 2 days, and he had to get on the train at midnight and catch a flight at 2 a.m. and we finished recording at about 11:50 at night, and we had to race him to the train station down the road, and it was very heroic few moments, that's for sure. It was great.
So, can you tell me more about the single that is called Through the Night?
Through the Night's a very new one. I'm very proud of it. It's a lot of funky chords, bit of different tuning, and it's actually one that I did the music video for all by myself as well. So that was just a new thing because, of course, as musicians, we just have to, add something else to our plate because we're creatives and we just always think of something else to do. And yeah, that was a really fun one to explore new avenues with.
So can you remember your latest single called Hard Love?
Hard love. It sounds so dramatic when you say it like that, but it's it's all about loving yourself. I didn't think about that at the time when I was writing the song. I sort of was trying to write something about talking to a friend and saying, "Hey, it's okay to confess your feelings. Be brave enough to do that." And I realized that I was sort of talking about myself and saying it's okay to love yourself. Do it, because who else is going to love you if you don't love yourself, sort of thing. And it was a really beautiful message to sort of find throughout recording and releasing the song.
So are you working on any new music in the near future?
Hoping to get back in later in the year after I do a bit of touring around. I've got a couple under my belt, and I'm in the process of choosing which ones to do next, and it's just so much. And I feel like I need a couple of people to just send in a group chat, send them, 10 songs and say, what are your favourite couple, and see what they say. I might put you in the focus group.
So I know you released a debut EP, so any more thoughts about releasing an album at some point in the future?
I would love to. I've got a concept for an album coming along, and I've been writing for one, and just the beginning of that. But I gotta tell you, these things aren't cheap. I'm sure you know, and I feel like there's going to be a little bit of preparation for the funding of that. Whatever I'll be able to do, whether it's just keep working hard at what I'm doing, or investing in a grant or something like that. I'm grateful to be supported for some touring and travel grants throughout Australia and touring this year. So I've got them. They know who I am, and now I'm going to say, help me out with this album stuff, because it's pretty scary, that's for sure.
Okay. Continue to know more about being an independent artist, because I know you're an independent artist, so continue more about that. What's it like for you?
Yeah, I love doing what I do. I think that's all there is to it, really. I'm proud to be an independent artist, and I don't think, I would love a team around me to help feel supported, because it's a lot of admin, a lot of typing, a lot of preparation from my end, but I love learning about that side of the business, so that when I do grow to have a team, I know who I'm handing that over to. But at the moment, I love doing it all and understanding the ropes.
So how did you come across about RTC Records and Rock This Country, Nardia Drayton?
Oh, Nardia's been recommended to me for years, and even when I was, in the process of releasing my first EP, September, that we talked about, I didn't feel that I was good enough and that I would go to Nardia at all. I was too worried, and now that I feel like I understand a little bit of what needs to be done, and Nardia has just been a voice of many amazing artists, and I knew that I had to be next on the roster, that's for sure. So we met at an event after, been talking on mutuals and social media for a while, and we just sort of said to each other, hey, I know you and I want to work with you, and it just hit it off like that. It was great.
So tell me more about any upcoming gigs you've got coming up in the near future.
Yes, the end of July is going to be very, very hectic. I'm so excited. Touring with Jenny Mitchell and the Dashville Society. We'll be doing the regional and remote music summit in Byron Bay on the east coast of Australia, and I'll be heading off in August as a very, very proud ambassador of Variety, the children's charity. I'm hosting their B2B bash. We're going from Bomaderry to Adelaide in South Australia, and then back to Sydney in Blacktown. So there's lots on the cards and much more to be announced.
So finally, can listeners find you on your social media?
Oh, my face is everywhere, and that's a threat. No, I'm on all the social medias. I've got music videos out on YouTube. I always post something random on my Instagram and Facebook, which I would love to meet new friends and followers on. I've got TikTok. I suck at it, but it's there. It definitely still does count. And a couple of other things like that. If you can Google me, you can Google my name and I come up. Some very old photos, but it still counts.
Thank you. Let me chat to you today.
Oh, thank you so much.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Goodbye.
See ya.